thing this week in AI, of many big things as always, is Musk has been suing Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, for what is a betrayal of their agreement when they turned OpenAI from a nonprofit to a for-profit company. The trial, I think, is on, I think they wrapped up their day 4 at the very last day of April. But there are obviously a lot of questions, things going back and forth, personalities at play, very large ones, obviously, in the long history here. But Damon, you were mentioning right before we got started, there was a couple of things you had thoughts on that we can probably launch into.
Yeah, so I think just because some of the details are still being, refined and streamed in real time, it's too early to comment on the finality or the totality of it. But I think there are some interesting things at play here that, kind of weave together a lot of the themes that we've talked about on the podcast for several months and kind of even going on years now. I mean, I think high level, it feels to me like both of these parties have legitimate grievances, meaning I think in the beginning, remember this was a decade ago that OpenAI was founded. Right? This thing was founded in roughly 2016 and really didn't even have anything of note until, call it 2018, 2019, right? When like GPT-2 and GPT-3 were becoming a thing. So my reading, just as a third party kind of external observer, is originally when this was set up, it was impossible to predict where we would have ended up a decade later. Right. Yeah. And so there is some natural evolution that I think had to happen from the leadership at OpenAI. All that said, Elon Musk, originally having provided cash for a nonprofit, was effectively cut out in ways that others were too, right? Elon Musk is not the only person that was kind of excluded from having ownership, let's say, in whatever OpenAI eventually becomes and became. And so I do think there's a legitimate grievance on the part of Elon Musk there that will have to be worked out, and he probably should have some compensation or kind of retroactive bestowment of ownership or something like this in hindsight. All that said, I don't necessarily begrudge the